Welcome to another edition of the Nightly Nugent. Ted, lots to talk about. Guess who's in the news? Joe Biden. And why is Joe Biden in the news, Ted? All of a sudden, they're finding all kinds of confidential documents that Joe Biden has, not from his presidency, which he could declassify if he chose to, just as President Trump could, but from the time when he was a vice president. And what I'm reading, Ted, a lot of it has to do with interactions with foreign entities like China and the Ukraine. And my question to you is, well, just an overall question about the documents, but I didn't see any in the middle of the night raids on any of Joe Biden's homes or property.
Every day, Keith, there's another heartbreaking, painful, glaring, irrefutable example that there is no justice in America. There is attacks and scams against conservatives and Republicans, and there is total ignorance of violations on film repeated over and over again by anybody on the liberal side or in the Democrat Party. Joe Biden is the tip of the spear of corruption, collusion, treason, criminality. And this is another example for everybody at the Nightly News to get a hold of all your friends at deer camp, at the shooting range, at the barbecue, at school and work and church, around the dinner table. Wherever you may go, tell people there is a Nightly News, because truth, logic, and common sense must be driven home with aplomb and certain amounts of we the people absolutism to our elected employees. And just tell everybody you know, Joe Biden is committing felony after felony after felony, like his son Hunter Biden, who was committing felony after felony after felony, and nothing has happened to them. This is an embarrassing, tragic, anti-American era that we're in, and this is another example of that, and it breaks my heart. But more importantly, I raise hell. If you're not raising hell, you might be French. You might be bending over, Rover, and letting Teddy take over. We have got to bang the freedom bully pulpit and let our elected employees know that we see what's happening, and we need to raise hell about it.
So, Ted, you hear a lot of people talk about the deep state. And there are some out there, you mentioned deep state, and they're like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. But here's my question to you. The information that's coming out now shows that the FBI had information that these documents were out there before the midterms.
Yeah.
Yet nothing happened. I mean, is there a deep state, Ted? And do you think the deep state is manipulating this information? I'm talking about the FBI and or CIA.
Yes. There is a deep state, and it's been around since, I believe, before World War I. And people need to do some research because the media, academia continue to hide it. They do everything they can to divert your attention away from the glaring evidence that there is a corrupt criminal gang organization running this country behind the scenes. And Joe Biden, this embarrassment, the world laughs at America. We are an embarrassment to the human race with all these alphabet bureaucracies that don't accomplish anything good. They're all scamming. They're all selfish and greedy and corrupt and criminal, enriching themselves in defiance of their stated responsibility, their oath to serve we the people. And yes, there is a deep state, which is why the greatest president ever, Donald J. Trump, came in and spotlighted the cockroaches and the deep state and Nancy Pelosi ripping up the State of the Union address, committing a felony on television. Nothing happens to the criminals, but if you expose the criminals, you're the one who goes into gulag from January 6th. You're the one whose home is raided by the FBI and other gangster criminal organizations in the DOJ. But if you're a Democrat, you can do anything you want to do, any crime you want to commit, especially if you're part of the Biden gangster family, the Michael Moore fan club, and you get away with murder, literally. So I'm telling you, my friends, if you're not telling your senator and your congressman and your governor and your state rep and your chief of police and your state trooper commander and your sheriff and your mayor, if you're not raising hell and pointing out the cockroaches, then the cockroaches would like to thank you. This is an embarrassment. This is tragic. This is cultural suicide, Keith.
Ted, I follow the news feed as we talk here, and breaking right now as we're recording this episode, it's coming out on all the wires that there are no visitor logs for the home in Delaware where these documents were found per the White House counsel. Obviously, that raises a red flag. How can there be no visitor logs when you have this confidential information there? I mean, there's all kinds of stuff that need to be unpacked on this deal.
May I make a comment here, and I'll quote the researchers, my dear friend Kimberly Guilfoyle. Here's the bottom line, and this is what the deep state is ignoring. Trump had declassification authority. Biden, zero declassification authority. Trump had one secure location for his authorized classified documents. Biden, multiple unsecure locations for his illegally procured classified documents. Trump had alerted the National Archives. Biden didn't alert the National Archives. They weren't aware of it. There's a huge difference. Biden is the criminal. Trump was the good guy. They raided the good guy's place, but they won't raid the criminal's place. This is unbelievable, Keith. And I'm telling you, we the people keep bending over and taking this. Welcome to Cuba. Welcome to a suburb of Moscow. America should be ashamed of itself. But the people watching the nightly news, they're we the people, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness warriors. I know you are. I know you work hard. You earn your way. You live within your means. You save for a rainy day. You give. You produce. You've got to start raising hell. The Fauci scam, the weaponized virus scam, the ivermectin, the hydroxychloroquine scam, the experimental shot scam, the Ukraine scam, the border scam, the Chinese producing our pharmaceuticals and our vitamins and our seed and our fertilizer. Keith, you've got to be kidding me. I'm a hellraiser. My name is Ted Nugent. I'm radical. I'm extreme. I dare to experiment in self-government. And unless the conservatives start raising adequate hell, we're done.
You know what, Ted? We were talking just before we came on the air here, and you kind of have an idea of a bigger picture that's going on here with regard to the deep state and Biden. And tomorrow night, I want you to reveal these thoughts regarding the bigger picture that most people may not be seeing right here on the Nightly News, where all of our listeners rely on your truth, logic, and common sense.
God bless you, Keith. Thank you very much. America, I love you. Real America, I love you.